How you doing today? I want to welcome you all to another episode of Natural is F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Fraier. I am a holistic practitioner out of Savannah, Georgia, and what we do is educate people on a healthy lifestyle that is conducive with health. You want to be healthy? Well, there's some things you must be obedient to. You can't eat whatever you want to eat. You can't drink whatever you want to drink. You can't just live however you wish to live. You have to live with intention, conscious intention, that what you're doing is supporting your health and not causing your health to deteriorate. You can look us up at Savannah Natural Health. You can call us at 912-227-9335. You can always find us here at Our Black Media. We want to thank this platform for bringing information that is relevant to the community. And the information that we have to offer is holistic health and healing. Now, nothing in our teachings is about medicine, herb, remedies, any of that stuff. All we're doing is focusing on telling you the conditions for health and what you need to do to maintain your health. And if you're sick and suffering, what is necessary for you to do to return back to health or recover or restore your health back to you. Now, we have a topic that is really important for this day and time right now because I've been running into a lot of clients and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this. You can imagine, a lot of the stuff that I know, and I'm out there around regular people all day, every day, and I'm hearing them complain about their health issues. They suffering from this or they suffering from that. They child been sick for this long, or they can't get over a cold. They have eruptions coming from their body. They've been having a prolonged headache that they just can't shake. And since I've been doing this so long, I can pretty much look at them, hear them talk, watch some of their activities, and already know what they're doing that's producing their dis-ease and their discomfort. Now the doctor then gave them some information. The medicine man, he probably got him on some type of pill, and he never removed cause. He never seeked out cause and removed it in the individual. All he did was palliate it with some type of medicine, some type of remedy, or some type of herb. So the problem continues, and you conveniently go back and see that medical doctor every month or every 2 months or once or twice a year to get more medicine, to get a new prescription, for him to write on his little pad and submit it into one of the drug stores on the corners of every corner almost nowadays. You got the CVS, you got the Walgreens, you got all these different. You got Walmart. You got even the grocery stores. What where you're supposed to buy food from is now even have their pharmacies in there where they can conveniently. You can go down there and pick up some eggs and some poisonous pills at the same time. you know. So there's not much outlets in health today to really teach individuals how to gain health naturally and without the use of medicine, without the use of herbs. It's even a tragedy how our elders are on over 10 to 15 different medications in their older age. When we know of some who practice hygiene, natural hygiene, and what we teach that are on no medication, and they're faring way better than those who are on 10 and 15 different medications. Now, we see medications at that state to be nothing but a crutch. You don't really see the conditions of your body until you come off all the medications. Like when I have clients come in, you know, I really can't tell what's going on them because no symptoms are present. Because even though their body is still in a dis-ease state, they still suffering, but we can't really identify symptoms because every drug is to suppress or palliate the symptoms of the body healing itself. You know, Only when a person, before they start taking medication or remedies, cures, anything like that, and they give me a call and start saying, hey, this is going on with me, I'm having such and such. Oh, that's the body purging via the skin. Oh, that's the body purging via the mucous membranes of the sinus canal. Oh, that's the body purging through the bronchial canal. That's the body purging through the colon canal. This is the body just purging you, throwing it out, vomiting. It's coming out through your eyes, it's coming out through your ears. So we can identify it better before we start using all this different type of magic to suppress it. And that's what get a lot of medical doctors um, not able to really correct people's health because they don't know the conditions of their patient because they're so much on drugs. When you start pulling them off the drugs, you see the true condition of the body. You ask a person, is they healthy? Well, they think they're healthy because they're on 10 different medications. They're not sneezing, they're not coughing, they're not having eruptions from the skin and stuff like that. But when you take these drugs away from them, all the symptoms appear, the headaches and all. Now, we see the true condition of the body. Even if they continuously take the medication soon no longer work. They have to get on another medication. They'll tell you that your body is not responding to the drugs anymore. We'll either have to up the drugs or we have to put you on another drug, something that your body hasn't learned to tolerate yet. But that's not our topic today. I just want you to get to understand that you're going to have to take a natural approach, a holistic approach in healing your symptoms. I haven't seen yet a issue of health that was not able to either be halted in its progress or reversed when the cause is identified and removed and the body is supplied with the conditions for health. The primordial needs, the basic needs of the human body, such as fresh air, sunlight, ideal food, rest and relaxation, normal temperatures, regular exercise, um, emotional balance, nurturing relationship with laughter and freedom from violence, sunlight, cleanliness. Those things were very important in bringing health back to the body because those are what the body requires. It don't need tater chips. It don't need Tylenol. It don't need bear. It don't need any type of other so-called drugs to get itself healthy or to stay healthy. What it needs is water, clean water. What it needs is food, the right food, such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You need adequate sunlight. It needs plenty of rest and sleep. How else is it going to have energy if you don't go to sleep? It's not like you can change your battery in your body by just going and getting you some Energizer or some Duracell or some other so-called battery pack. You have to go to sleep to recharge your internal battery. You came with an internal battery, cells, a bunch of cells of the body, just like the cells of a battery. They're charged up through rest and activity, repose. So it's required that you go to sleep in order to get energy back to the body. And then when you have the energy throughout your day, by you eating right, getting fresh air, drinking only water, exercising and stuff like that, you kind of conserve energy, especially with emotional balance. But our topic for the day, we're going to go in just a minute. I'm going to start off reading to you, and then we're going to take a quick little break. But I'm going to open up our topic for the day. If you have any questions, you can put it to the site, and you can have us help you answer it, sort out what problem that you're suffering from. If you're unable to do it live while we're on this show, because this show is live right now, if it's later on, and it's you're catching it from a recording, you can always contact us at savannahnaturalhealth@gmail.com, or you can call us at 912-227-9335. You can also leave messages there and we will get with you. But you can send your questions to us and let us help identify what possibly can be going on with you, or if you would need to get with us and work with us to help you get out of your health condition. But the topic we have today is one that is very necessary because a lot of people are suffering with this today. And it's so much miseducation behind this so-called disease that people are wasting more of their energy, spending a lot of their money, doing abuse to their body in order to so-called remove this condition. Now, this condition is what is known as constipation. And we see constipation in the young, the teenager, we see it in the young adult, and we even see it in the elderly. We see it more in the elderly. And you're going to understand why. You're going to understand why you can see it in the young adult after, a bunch of innovating practices. Innovating meaning energy wasting, energy draining. Let's say that they up all night, playing all day, not getting any rest, eating a bunch of food, highly excited. Then they tend to have problems using the bathroom. Why? Because they don't have energy. The energy been used elsewhere. So now the colon don't have enough energy for movement. Now every organ and tissue in your body requires energy. Your heart needs energy to beat. It needs power. All right, for it to function. Your lungs need power or energy to function. Your brain needs energy to function. Your liver needs energy to function. Your pancreas needs energy to function. Every cell and tissue in your body requires energy to do its job of function. Now, when the body doesn't have energy or battery is on low, in the red, then it can't function at optimum levels. There'll be a sluggishness in their activities. There'll be a sluggishness in their function. So if the colon requires energy to push waste out of it, when the body is, let's say, drained of its vitality or drained of its energy, don't have any power in the battery pack, well, there's no movement, or there's sluggish movement. And this is where we start seeing slow activity of the bowel. Now, this is one of the reasons why people have constipation. So let's look and see the definition of constipation when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to start talking about what constipation is, overview of it, and talk about some of the symptoms. But we'll be right back.
Hey there. Are you ready to amplify your voice and embrace your passion? Tune in to Our Black Media Network, where community comes first and every story matters. We're here 24/7, delivering powerful content on everything from financial literacy to the latest in sports and mental health. We are unapologetically real, reflecting the heartbeat of our community with programs that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join us on all major media platforms to celebrate our unique voices and advocate for the change we want to see. With over 50K monthly viewers, our network is your go-to destination for authentic, engaging content. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the change. Tune in to Our Black Media Network today and let your voice be heard.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
All right. We're going to do a quick definition of constipation. If you got a paper and pen, make sure you write this down. Thank you for sticking in there. We're going to get into the lesson for this week, which is the constipation. Now, constipation is defined as sluggish action of the bowels, intestinal stasis, or infrequent or difficult evacuation of the feces. So, just to break that down into more layman terms, constipation is a tired colon or tired activity. It does not working right. It's not working properly. It's not pushing stuff out like it should. It doesn't have good movement to push this waste out. It doesn't come out frequent enough. You don't have frequent bowel movements, whereas you usually should be having a bowel movement right after every meal you have. You should be not too long going to the bathroom right after that. But if you're eating 3 times a day and you're going to the bathroom only 1 time a day, that's a mild form of constipation. If you're eating 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and you're only going to the bathroom 2 times in those 7 days, that's a more severe constipation. If you're eating and not going to the bathroom nothing but 1 time every 2 weeks, that is really extreme form of constipation. And I've had clients who suffered from just that. I mean, they eat and don't go to the bathroom for almost 2 weeks. And they be suffering all type of symptoms. They're real sluggish and all type of stuff like that. Now, let me get you to understand, constipation is not the cause of a lot of the issues that's going on in the body. Constipation itself is an issue that results from, low energy, you know, and two other things that we're going to talk about in just a second. So the symptoms of constipation: difficult and infrequent bowel movement, hard, usually foul stools, gas, and occasionally pain or discomfort in the abdomen are the characteristic symptoms of constipation. Sometimes, you might be nauseated. Headaches and other symptoms attributed to constipation are due to other causes, like toxemia. Toxemia is at the beginning of constipation, you know, and is not caused by constipation, you know. So a lot of people think that toxemia is the result of a sluggish bowel, so they'll want to say you need to clean your bowels out and you can heal your body. Well, that's not necessarily true, because a clean body can't produce a sluggish colon, but a toxic body will produce a constipation, because a toxic body means that there's no energy to eliminate waste from the body. There's no vitality there. So as the waste build up, the colon will eventually keep trying to get this waste out, and it will work until it works itself to death, or to a tiredness. Not death at first. It's going to work itself to a tiredness or fatigue. It's just like when you see in the case of a person who is drinking. They drink, and their kidneys just automatically start doing what? Working, filtering out that waste, and causing them to go to the bathroom and urinate, urinate, and urinate, and urinate. Now, eventually, the kidneys will falter in their job because they are overworking themselves to fatigue. Once they become fatigued, then they don't filter the blood like they supposed to of the alcohol. And the alcohol stays in the body even longer, causing damage while they're there. All right, to organs and tissue. Now, this is the same thing with the colon. When the colon becomes fatigued from overusage and abuse, then it falters in its job. It can't keep up with the waste removal. All right. Now, there's two general types of constipation which are described, that we're going to describe to you. First one is spastic constipation, in which the stools are likely to be small and hard, round balls. Is a spastic condition of the muscles of the colon. All right. So one of the types of constipation that a lot of us suffer is spastic constipation. And I'm going to repeat what that is. It's when the stools are small, round, and hard, round balls, skinny, slim. And this is a spastic condition of the muscles of the colon. So what the colon is really doing there when it's saying a spastic condition of the colon is pretty much saying that when the stools should be long, it's actually in a headlock all the way. It's keep breaking off little pieces because it's like really tight. It's squeezing too hard. It's just spastic and just squeezing. And so it's breaking it off and it's keeping it small. It's not really out and doing a good rhythmic movement, but it's got it hard and just spasming. So it's compacting it, breaking it off. You got it small. The second is flaccid constipation. And this is a loss of tone in the walls of the colon. So instead of the muscles being able to contract to help with movement, to like a wave-like movement to keep pushing it on out and voiding it, well, the muscles are like lax. It like you'll say like a hose that doesn't have no pressure to it. It's just like a hose that when you cut the water off, and it's like, I don't know if you know them hose that just become flat with no water in it, that you can roll up. It's them new water hoses that they sell that take up less space. Well, that's how the colon end up becoming. It becomes flat, and it done lost its tone, so there's no muscle in there to actually make movement. So the waste, when it get in there, it just sits there, and there's no muscle tone in there to help move it out, and you have this bowel movement. Listen to the word bowel movement. Bowel movement, something got to move it. What's moving it? Muscles. Muscles is moving, does all the moving in the body. Everything that have to move and circulate in the body, there's a muscle making that happen. All right, even the circulatory system, even the lungs, every movement in the body, there's a muscle behind that. So here it is in the colon. There's a muscle that has to help with getting this stuff out. But when the muscle has been overworked, degenerated, and abused, then they don't have functioning. Or there's nothing there to function. If it has degenerated, a waste in the way of the muscles, then you have this thing called chronic constipation, because there's no muscle down there to really get no movement. So you'll probably get issues where the stuff will just sit there and rot, and then eventually you'll have a quick diarrhea to come and wash all that away. Now, Dr. Page says, as in an etiology, and I'm going to read what Dr. Page says here. In common life, It is rare indeed that constipation is the result of a deficient diet. Although it often arises from lack of nourishment consequent upon excess or an unwholesome variety of food or both. So what he's saying is that in common life, it is rare indeed that constipation is a result of deficient diet, but it does result from a lack of nourishment due to excessive eating. So when we excessively eat, then the food rots in our belly and we don't get nourishment. A lot of us think if we just eat, long as we're eating, our body is making use of that food, but that's not always true. We can overeat and none of that food get digested properly because we overindulge. And now there's not enough enzymes to break that food down. The organs are too overwhelmed. So the nerves don't have the capacity to help with the the digestive tract to support it, to help with digestion, absorption, and assimilation of the food. So if food is not properly digested, then it's not going to be absorbed into the blood. And if it's not absorbed into the blood, then it can't be assimilated into cells and tissues or flesh and blood. All right. So if our food sits in our stomach and rots, decomposes, that's where you're getting the gas, the rumbling in our tummy, the foul smell coming from the decomposition of the food. That's why the bowels will be smelly real bad, and your gas will be real smelly, or you have the belch or stench coming from the mouth. All these are a result of decomposition in the digestive tract. And decomposition is going to come due to abnormal breakdown of the food, which is rotting of the food, fermentation of the food. This may be the result of overeating, so the food didn't have enough capacity to digest. It didn't have enough time to digest, all that. So he says, usually it may be regarded as the reaction from overaction. The not uncommon experience in regular order is this: excess in diet, diarrhea, constipation. So he said this is how it usually goes. Excessive eating leads to diarrhea, then constipation. Because diarrhea is a lot of activity of the colon. That's you seeing the colon act. You're going running to the bathroom real forcefully, and you might have to run by 5 times an hour. That's the bowels overacting. And then when it overacts, it got to rest. It's like it just ran, 20 miles when it's used to just running a mile a day. Now it just had, because you put something bad in there, it just ran 20 miles a day. So with that saying, now it got to rest for 20 days because that's the normal time. It run 1 mile a day and it rests the rest of the day. You done made it run 20 miles, so now it got to be down for 20 days. But what we do when our colon is resting, we go and take some type of enema or some type of purgation, and then we end up with, worse constipation. Because what does the laxative do? The laxative have you running to the bathroom just as if something was rotten in you. It have you running to the bathroom. You going there 3-4 times an hour. So that is using up your energy of your colon. Even though it was resting, it went to work when you introduce a poison to the body. It went to work to clean the body of the poison. So happened, it moved the waste out of the colon along with the poison. I had a client told me one day that he was kind of going through something, and he said that his energy level was really low. He didn't really have no energy. But then he got into a kind of an argument with his wife, and he said he got up and had energy. So what was that energy? Now, when he, got finished with the argument, then he had an even extreme low. Now, where did that energy come from? That energy came from like a fight or flight response. He was in a crisis, a fight or flight crisis, an adrenaline rush he had real quick. And that was an excitation. All right. That was an excitation that was going on. So that excitation allowed movement, a vigorous movement. So when we take a laxative excites the colon. It makes the colon move because it's irritating it. If the colon allows that poison of the laxative, the poison of the purgative, the poison of the enema to, irritate inside there, you would die. You end up with colon cancer or anything like that. So the body is always protecting itself by, doing that movement, forcefully getting that poison out. It just so happened it can't just get rid of the laxative if there's some bowel stuff up in there too. It's going to get rid of both. But every time you forcefully uses your bowels, it's going to go to sleep for a couple of days. So how do you stop constipation? Well, what's the cause? If you haven't learned yet, what's the cause of innovation is overuse. Toxemia. Something in your daily life is causing a toxemia and an innovation to happen. And we're going to talk about more of this when we come back from the break. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
I want to share something with you from Dr. Page. Dr. Page says this, and I want you to listen. He says, the term reaction here means simply that the organs involved having been irritated by undigested food and having by means of increased action cleared away the obstruction. So if you eat foods that are undigested, they become acidic and irritating, and it causes the body to go through a diarrhea. It's forcefully getting rid of this stuff. Now, with that diarrhea, overactivity is going to bring on rest. Any overactivity brings on rest. And as much overactivity requires that much rest. If you overuse your bowels for a day, it's going to need a day of rest. If you overuse it for 2 days, it's going to need 2 days of rest. So it's corresponded to the use, will it need its rest? So here we see him also saying, what are commonly called diseases are in reality cures. Now, you hear me talk about this all day, every day up here. Your symptoms, the constipation is your cure. Now, a lot of us talking about, how I'm constipated. What should I do? Well, don't do anything. Just go to sleep. The first thing you got to make sure you're doing is not eating. It makes no sense to eat if you not having a movement. That's like trying to stuff something in a bag that's already full. You shouldn't put more food in there. Like I told you, these people eating 3 meals a day and not having a bowel movement for a whole 7 days or a whole, 2 weeks. But they steady eating. And they saying they don't know why they're getting bloated. You don't know why they're gaining all this weight, because stuff is going in, but nothing is coming out. Now, why is nothing coming out? Because the muscles of the colon don't have the ability to do it. Because why? They don't have energy. They have no power. The, the, the Georgia power has been disconnected for a little while, been turned off. You didn't pay your power bill. All right, so passing innovation and toxemia. This is what Dr. Page is saying here. He says, and the common practice with drug doctors of controlling the symptoms is like answering the cries of a drowning man with a knock on the head. If a man is in the water and he's telling you, hey, come help me, I'm drowning, and you go hit him across his head and push him down, how is that helping him? That's just like in your body. When your body is showing signs and symptoms of eruptions, sneezing, coughing, diarrhea or constipation, whatever symptoms that you're suffering from, that is your cure. That's your saving. That's your savior. How else can the body get rid of waste except for it pour it out through your nose, pour it out through your eyes, pour it out through your skin, have you vomit it out, have you diarrhea it out. No man to go to a doctor, with alcohol poisoning. And matter of fact, you have certain people, when they induce drugs poisoning, they go and pump out their body and make them vomit, to vomit this stuff out. Now, when the body creates a vomit, we call it a disease. But if the doctor induce a vomit, we call it a cure. Well, why is it not a cure when the body induces a vomit? If you're suffering with something and you're suffering with constipation, and the doctor give you something for diarrhea, it's a cure. Well, why is it not a cure when the body induces a diarrhea? If you're having diarrhea and your body is trying to conserve energy, or your doctor wants you to conserve energy because you're innervating and stuff, and he give you something to constipate you, you call it a cure. And when the body gives rest to the colon, you call it a disease. Now, it makes no sense. Now, Dr. Page is also saying here, he said, passing innervation and toxemia, which are basic causes and omnipresent where there is any departure from the normal health standard. So he's saying, if you're departed from your natural health, if you're suffering with any health or issue in your body, you can't pass by innervation and toxemia as the cause. There got to be fatigue somewhere in your body, and there got to be poisonous buildup. That's the only way you're going to suffer dis-ease. Remember, we talked about in the Bible where Jesus said there can be no restoration, but first by purification of the blood. So Dr. Page is saying something similar to that. He said you can't bypass these causes of any issue you're suffering from in your body. It's going to be innervation and toxemia. Innervation is chronic fatigue. Your body is out of vitality, low functioning power. Toxemia is poison blood. This is where poison has built up in your body and can't be eliminated. So we have to usually find alternative routes of elimination. Those alternative routes are your dis-ease symptoms. But, we call it a crisis of healing. We call it your healing symptoms. Your body is healing as you're sneezing out this stuff. Your body is healing as it's erupting from the skin. So it's actually a healing symptom, not a disease symptom. It might be dis-ease because it's not easy coming out of your skin, or coming out of your eyes, coming out as a big boil. It might not be comfortable. So yes, we can call it discomfort. So Dr. Tilden says, overfeeding is first, last, and all the time the cause of constipation in children. So when we see children constipated, it tends to be overfeeding going on. And I know that personally to be true because I've seen that happen so much. I've seen it in the young. I hear mothers with their young children talking about the children constipated. They got to do something for the constipation. And then when I hear about how they're feeding them, they say the doctor got them feeding them every 3 hours, waking them up every 4 hours, or, throughout the night and all type of stuff. They're eating 8 and 10 meals a day. That's overfeeding a baby. Baby should eat no more than 2 to 3 meals a day. They say, whoa, how's the baby going to grow? Even animals don't allow their youth to overconsume. They'll kick them away. Won't even allow them to get on the breast. I've seen that happen, So overfeeding is followed by imperfect digestion. Anytime you overfeed, that's going to hinder digestion. That's imperfect digestion, which is going to cause flatulence, gas, bowel discomforts, bloating, loose movements, decomposition, fermentation. You're going to have curds in the stools. The amount of the curds increases as the digestive impairment becomes greater. So your dis-ease becomes even more greater the more your energy level is impaired or is lowered. Finally, these stools may become hard, dry, and even lumpy. Children that are properly cared for never suffer from constipation. Now, this is how you take care of yourself. All right. When we come back, I'm going to definitely show you how to take care of yourself to reverse these issues of constipation. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one.
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Have a good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders, but who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
Dr. Tilden always used to, at the beginning of some of his lectures, he used to tell this story about a time where a client was came in with constipation. He said, "I'm constipated, man. I can't get my bowels to move." He said, can you help me get my bowels to move? And Dr. Shelton told him, "Well, I'll tell you what. Give me $50. It maybe wasn't Dr. Shelton. He probably was talking about Dr. Tilden. He was probably referring to a patient of Dr. Tilden. But he said that, give me $50. And if you don't have a bowel movement in 15 days, don't eat nothing, just drink water. And if you don't have a bowel movement in 15 days, you can come and get this $50 back. But make sure you don't have a bowel movement. Don't have a bowel movement. Make sure you don't have a bowel movement." Well, about 3 or 4 days later, the guy called and said, "Dr. Shelton or Dr. Tilden," whichever one was the doctor at the time. Dr. Shelton was the one telling the story, though. He said that he called the doctor and said, "Hey, doctor, I just couldn't help it, man. I done lost that $50. I couldn't help it. I tried and I tried, but next thing I know, I was on the toilet using the bathroom. So the thing here is, we hear Tilden always say that, nature cleans out the bowels in her own way when she is ready. When she's ready to clear it out, that's when you're going to have a bowel movement. You can't make yourself have a bowel movement. You can go there and strain and strain and strain, but the urge will come when it's time to go. You just can't waste your energy. You got to build up energy. So constipation will end when nerve energy is restored and the causes of innovation are removed. So what's causing your innovation? If it's stress, if it's you're not eating right, you're not drinking right, you're overworking, oversexing, overplaying, whatever it is that's draining your body of vital energy, that must be stopped. If it's overeating, eating too often, eating in complex meals, saucy meals, highly seasoned meals, all those things irritate and gorge at the colon and the digestive system and innervate them. And if that's the case, you must stop those practices if you want the bowels to regain their functioning, to regain their motility, to regain their strength, to open up where it can push out, waste matter naturally and healthy waste matter out of there. So nerve energy have to be restored. And the causes of innovation or nerve energy loss must be stopped. How would we conserve money if we trying to save money? We can't be sitting there living a lavish lifestyle if we saying we trying to save money to get a house, but we always going out buying expensive shoes, expensive, pocketbooks, expensive suits, going on vacations every weekend, drinking the best drinks, the most expensive bottles of liquor and wine, all this different stuff. We're just wasting money. But we had a goal to save money. Let's say that we have we start off with $1,000 and we make $500 every day, but we spend $600 every day. I'm not a math genius, but within the span of 10 days, we will be pretty much broke. You know what I mean? But now if we start off with $1,000 and we make $500 a day and we only spend $100 a day, oh man, our money would exponentially multiply itself within a week's time and month time and a year time. Imagine a year time we doing this, we way up into the thousands. All right. So this is how we got to look at our energy in our body as energy bucks. How are we conserving our energy bucks? Our energy bucks is what is required to spend to make good body activity, good body processes, good body functioning, how to rebuild our body properly with good structures and stuff. It takes energy bucks. Without those energy bucks, it's nothing that's going to happen in this human body. So energy is one of the most, first thing, let me say it like this is one of the first things we have to start examining when we have clients come in. Hey, where are you wasting your energy? Where your energy leaks are at? And then when we identify those energy leaks, we stop it. That's why you see fasting. A complete fast cuts off all energy leaks. You put a patient to bed, they don't eat, don't drink, don't read a book, don't look at television, get off the phone, don't have nobody in there bothering them, not at work. They just laying in bed, and you put them to bed for a couple of weeks. That's the ultimate rest. And when they get up, they be like how Jesus said, all power has been restored back to me. When he came out after 40 days of fasting in the wilderness, he said, all power was restored back to me. So this is how you have to do. Restore power back to the human body if you want it to function properly, That's how you restore functioning back to the body, by restoring power back to the body. Now, according to Dr. Page, Next to the mistake of resorting to drugs in these cases is the quite common one of swallowing special kinds of food for the same purpose. So you have some of these holistic practitioners, natural health doctors and stuff like that implementing food. We have this group where people were, it's like a juice group, and they were saying, hey, what juices can I do to help with constipation? They think it's a specific blend of juices that will motivate, bowel activity. Well, if it does, that means it's so toxic that it made a tired colon go to work. And that's not favorable. It may look favorable because you had a bowel movement because that's what you wanted to accomplish. But what's behind that bowel movement? That's more energy that has just been wasted. You had to go into a energy debt. Let's say you was in debt of energy. You was -10, and you forced the bowels into activity again. You had to pull from something else. So you're borrowing from other organs and tissues just to have a bowel movement, but that's going to have them without power soon. Then you're going to start noticing that the liver is not functioning properly because it's running out of money because the colon done stole all this money and never paid it back because you don't remove cause. So these foods, there's no food that you don't use food as no drugs either. You just give rest to the body, and the body will do the work of restoring its own self back to functioning and healing its own self. All right, so tired bowels need rest, not work. They don't need to be forced and gorged into activity. They need more nerve energy, not more exponential use of the power of life. They need better nutrition, not more bulk, like these wheat and whey and all type of stuff like that. We tend to put people on excessive quantities of rye mush, have them eating wheat, grits, oat groats, with a bunch of butter, syrup, milk, or honey. Or we had them drink some hot milk, warm milk, or something like that. Something to purge the bowels, to make the bowels to move. All that is a drastic poison, according to Dr. Page. And we know that to be the same. But enemas, colonic irrigations, rectal dilators, etc., are every bit as evil in their effects as drugs and roughage, and they have no more effect in removing cause than these other things. See, we got to go to cause. We need to stop using these so-called remedies and trying to sidestep our bad habits. What's causing our colon to be constipated? The chief cause of chronic constipation is the constipation cures. So the acute constipation is due to our daily bad habits. But when it become chronic, it's because we done been using a bunch of cures. Your cures, your over-the-counter cures, your laxative, your purgative, your enemas and your colonics and all these other so-called things, they the one take your acute disease or your acute constipation and turn it into a chronic one. Because it does nothing for the cause of constipation. All it does is excite and use up more and do more damage to the colon. So we want to encourage you that nobody ever gets free of dysfunctional failing so long as all their drugs are employed. So put down drugs, put away all the treatments and remedies, and give your body rest. Go on a little short fast. If you do a long fast, get a supervisor to supervise your fast. Remember, I told you, we give you no medical advice, but we are holistic practitioners teaching and educating you on a natural concept called natural hygiene to restore your body back to health and to get over the diseases that are causing you to suffer and not have a good quality of life. If you want to know more about this, continuously follow us here on Natural is Health every Tuesday live at 6 o'clock. And you can contact us at 912-227-9335. That's our office. And you also can contact us at email, savannahnaturalhealth@gmail.com. And even follow us here on Our Black Media. You can get in touch with them, with our producers, and leave questions, and we'll definitely get back to you. What we want to see is the world not suffer from disease. We want to see you healthy. Best of health and happiness from us. And make sure you tune in next week where we have another great topic that we're going to talk about, and that we also want you to invite friends out to come and watch as well. We'll see you next week. Best of health.
Like that.